Did you know that in medieval Europe, if a pig ate a child, it could be arrested, put in prison, and even taken to court? I know it sounds completely bonkers, but it's true. This was a real thing called animal trials, and it happened for centuries. So, how did this even work? Well, let's say a farm animal, like a pig or a bull, caused someone's death. It wasn't just considered a tragic accident. People at the time believed these animals had a sense of right and wrong, just like humans. So, the animal would be formally charged with murder. It would get a lawyer, witnesses would be called to testify, and a judge would preside over the whole affair. Imagine a courtroom drama, but the defendant is just a pig sitting there. The prosecution would argue that the animal acted with malicious intent. The defense lawyer, and yes, they had one, would do their best to defend their client. They might argue that the animal was provoked, or maybe it was just a case of mistaken identity wrong pig. In one famous case, a lawyer for some rats argued that his clients could unappear in court because they were afraid of the local cats. Seriously. If found guilty, the sentences were just as real as for any human criminal. The animal could be exiled or more commonly sentenced to death by hanging. These weren't quiet affairs either. The execution was a public spectacle, meant to serve as a warning to other potentially criminal animals. It seems crazy to us now, but for people back then, it was all part of a world where the lines between divine law, natural law, and human law were very blurry. It wasn't just livestock. Insects like weevils or locusts that destroyed crops could also be put on trial. The church would often get involved, performing a ritual to formally excommunicate the pests from the community. They would literally be ordered to leave the fields within a certain number of days, or face divine punishment. These trials weren't just a quirky footnote in history. They tell us a lot about the medieval mindset. They show a world where humans saw themselves as part of a much wider moral community, one that included animals and even insects, all subject to the same laws of God and man. So next time you see a pigeon stealing a fry, just remember, a few hundred years ago, it might have ended up in court. Thanks for watching. If you found this as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more weird history. See you next time.